Hello and welcome back to the Sideboard. I'm Ruben Bressler and I'm joined by Nick Prax, and he has brought Spanish Inquisition here today. And tell us a little bit about what the deck is all about.
Well, the Spanish Inquisition is a black-green Belcher and Storm deck. So you're hoping to, like any good Belcher deck, go off as quickly as possible. Either through accelerating into an early Char Belcher or chaining Draw 4s into a Lethal Tendrils of Agony.
Right, and the Draw 4s that you have in the deck are Infernal Contract and Cruel Bargain.
Right.
And you were saying that this was more popular of a draw engine combo deck before Ad Nauseam became.
Right. Yeah, it's a much older, much more aggressive way to try to eke out card advantage. Obviously, you're paying half your life to draw 4 cards. But oftentimes in Legacy, I've found that it just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter because you're getting there fast enough. And of course, your mana comes mostly from artifact sources, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Chrome Mox. But you also have a number of rituals. You have Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual, but perhaps one that people aren't as familiar with is Culling the Weak.
Right. Culling the Weak is in here because the deck tries to utilize Summoner's Pact as well as Land Grant to try to get you free creatures. And so you use your Culling of the Weak to obviously generate a tremendous amount of black mana as your draw spells are need to have.
Yeah, and your Land Grant can go get you a Dryad Arbor.
Dryad Arbor or Bayou, they're the only 2 lands in the deck.
Right.
That way, if you do land Char Belcher and are able to activate it, you don't risk not going off.
Right. Your Summoner's Pacts are able to get a wider range of creatures, including Elder Spirit Guide, I imagine, most of the time.
Right.
But you've also got a couple of interesting one-ofs for specific situations, I imagine.
Right.
Young Wolf, Wild Cantor, and Deathrite Channel. So tell me a little bit about what each of those situations would look like.
Well, Wild Cantor is great because it's an additional mana source if you're not able to go off turn 1, and you can land grant for your Bayou. You can accelerate yourself for the second turn. The Deathrite Shaman is something I've been trying as it's a newer addition to the deck. I think it'll help edge in control matchups, otherwise it's just fodder for your Culling the Weak, which is also the main reason I have Young Wolf, because I was trying to mitigate getting 2 for 1 on Force of Will. So if I Culling the Weak my Young Wolf and they counter it, you're not out as much tempo, or you'll draw hands that have double Culling the Weak, and you want to be able to utilize both of them. So you go tutor up Young Wolf, put it into play, kill it twice, and then continue on.
Got it.
So.
And now you also got a Slither Muse, which you can't search for, of course, but you're drawing for so much that I imagine it comes up often.
Yeah, you'll either draw into it through your draw 4s, or the line of play is that if you go off with a Hellbent Infernal Tutor on turn 1, if your opponent hasn't played anything, you go get Slither Muse, he enters play through Evoke, sacks himself, and then lets you draw a fresh 7 cards.
Excellent.
So he's also just an additional draw spell.
And this is an older combo deck, but it still works just as well as it did back then?
I think it works just as well.
Since the things that you're fighting against are still Daze and still Force of Will,
Correct.
It's not like it's a fight that has evolved too much in the past, I don't know, 9 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
moving to your sideboard, of course, you've got some weird ones in the main deck, you've got some weird ones in the sideboard we might have to explain to some people.
Sure.
The Tomb of Urami is a card that I think signifies a change in what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Oftentimes you'll find that in Game 2 you'll have to switch how you're attacking your opponent. They'll be prepped for Storm or be able to stifle your Belcher trigger. So you can play the Tomb, and what you can do is put out an aggressive 5/5 demon when they've removed all of their creature removal, because obviously the only creatures I run are essentially mana sources.
Yeah.
So they're not going to keep in any removal. And so sometimes you can just blank everything, play a 5/5, and try to ride that.
Right,
So.
and I think that the Autumn's Veils are fairly obvious, the Cabal Therapies are fairly obvious. What are you bringing in the Abrupt Decays to deal with?
Abrupt Decay I was trying out, I haven't played against it yet, but for counterbalance.
Okay.
Because the deck, the mana cost is so low that you can't resolve anything, especially if your opponent is on the play and they resolve counterbalance against you. You want to be able to get rid of it before you can go off. So I'm trying that out, since the traditional ones were Nature's Claim and other such ones which don't quite work.
Now, Carpet of Flowers is a card that I've played with a lot, actually, and I love that card, and I can tell you that it's a beating against decks like Rug or Bug, which are both very popular right now. And I saw you bring it in against your last opponent.
Right.
Is that a game plan? Is to just try and get into, do you mulligan to a Carpet of Flowers after sideboard, or?
Normally I don't know. You just hope to find it. It's brought in against obviously blue players.
Yeah.
But because I run so few lands, you need initial mana sources. So if you start off on a Carpet of Flowers, it really restricts how they want to play their game, because a deck like Blue-White Miracles doesn't want to play out all their tundras and islands. If I can just go, okay, during your upkeep I have 3 black mana, now I have 4. Right, here's
it's
how
it's a lot like playing against a land tax sometimes when you're playing a land tax game. So you're 3-0 so far.
Right.
We will be keeping track of you for sure, because this looks like a ton of fun, and I haven't seen a deck like this be doing well in a tournament in a long time. So
yeah,
I'm very excited. If you tell the folks at home why they should try and pick this deck up.
Well, it's really for combo enthusiasts. If you have a love of casting Dark Rituals, there's nothing quite as good as trying to go off turn 1.
Yeah, a lot of people might be missing the days back when they were casting Tendrils of Agony.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in Legacy in a while, so congratulations on your start so far. Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Yep.